Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of Stellar Lumens, taking a look at the most recent price action of the XLM token and what I think is likely to happen next. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, why not go ahead and check it out. Link for that is down in the description below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. Let's jump right down into today's video, kicking things off with the 1 hour time frame. So here we have Stellar paired up with USDT, and this is Binance on our 1 hour chart here. So as you can kind of see, we have progressed upwards along with the rest of the market. We did see a move here of approximately 18.25%. It's not the best, but let's go ahead and review what is going on. Okay, so we still start to see this move to the downside, and we have this little rally here, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at where this kind of lands from the fib scale side of things. Right in here, you can see it pierced higher than the 1.618, but the internal workings of this are not impulsive. Okay, so although it kind of hits the idea that, you know, you're going 1, 2, 3, this is all a 4, 5, and you kind of want to kind of feel bullish, the only way that you can kind of look at this in a bullish light is a diagonal, which, you know, it could be, to be fair, you know, if we want to be open and honest, it could be a diagonal move, but it's probably more likely going to be W, X, Y, X, and Z. So we want to be aware that there's two different ways that this can go. We can see a diagonal movement with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, not in the impulsive movement, but in the idea of a diagonal corrective pattern. Basically, it's for the three-wave structures, right? And so if we are to kind of think about this in a diagonal sense, then what is likely to happen here? Well, the next move would be to the upside, and we would expect ourselves to kind of land somewhere between the 1.236 and the 1.618 fib scale, which would put us right in here between 12.3 cent and 12.71 cent, and that there would complete a fifth wave movement. And I would expect it again to be a three-wave structure to kind of complete out a diagonal, right? So that's the diagonal approach. If we were to look at this from a W, X, Y, X, and Z pattern, then we would actually expect price to be somewhere between the 11.73 cent and 12.45 cent. Okay, so I'm going to go remove the fibs off of here, and then you kind of see two different ways of looking at this. WXYXZ would be this lower yellow box, and a diagonal movement would be this higher box. As you can see, both of these scenarios do mean a push to the upside, but the differences will be whether or not you are going to be trending to the upside, and this is just the beginning of that trend, or we are actually just corrective and we are looking for breaks to the downside. Okay, so on our 1 hour time frame, it kind of gives us the idea that maybe we can be bullish, right? However, when we start thinking about the larger time frames and taking it out into the daily time frame, where you can start to see that actually it wouldn't make a lot of sense for this to be a reversal pattern, and instead we would expect this to be the point where we continue our move to the downside. As you can kind of see, we're tracking a three-wave corrective move, and this little move up here at the moment would be our B wave. So if we were to take a look at this using our fib scales, throw this on here, move this across to the wick high, you would be able to see that there would be a move more down here towards the 1 and the 1.236. Again, this would be 8.44 to 9.03, a little bit higher than our actual target range, which was 7.2 to 6.21. As you can kind of see, though, it would complete our move to the downside, and we'd be able to kind of reflect on this as a three-wave pattern on the daily time frame. Now, we're overbought on the daily, so we are looking for corrective moves to the downside, but probably not just yet. I think the market still hasn't finished pushing up, so we may actually complete that little move upwards on our hourly chart before we start to see any corrective action on the daily. And that may have an impact on our lower range targets here ever so slightly. But ultimately, the daily chart's bearish. The smaller time frames are more bullish right now. So we do expect a bit of a move to the upside on the smaller time frames, but the larger ones are still giving us a bit of a macro feel for the downside. Taking this out into the weekly time frame, and it's a very similar story. You can see here that we do have this move to the downside still. We found brief support on this yellow line. This is the 50 SMA, and we can see here that we are still looking for progressing down inside a Z wave pattern, which actually forms a B wave overall. So this would put us between 3.55 cent and 8.37 cent. It's not to say that we have to go down as low as 3.55. It's just that ultimately we are looking for this corrective action. We're looking for a new bear market low point, I think. We're looking for a new bear market low point, or at least a retest of the existing one from December 2022, which was 7.02 cent. So we're looking to kind of find, well, at the moment we're finding resistance on that 50 EMA, support on the 50 SMA. We are actually in an oversold area on the weekly, which is quite interesting considering most other cryptocurrencies are actually up towards the overbought ranges. Stellar is not. This could mean that it stays down here in an oversold area for quite some time, as we had seen previously, and we continue to slip to the downside. Worse, we may actually lift up the stochastic RSI to overbought without actually doing any price movement like we saw historically over this side back in August of 2022, and then use that momentum to shift us back to the downside. Ultimately, on the daily and weekly timeframes, we are looking for corrective action to the downside, not necessarily to kind of see price moving on up. At the moment, the 200 EMA is our trend filter here, and we are looking for that as a bearish movement. We are below the 200 EMA, we're below the 50 EMA. The only thing we're above at the moment is the 50 SMA. We are in a bearish structure with the WXY, X, and Z, and we are looking to kind of move this down a little bit ways further. Ultimately, though, for stellar lumens, we are looking bearish on the daily, weekly, but we do have some hope on the 8, 4 hour, and 1 hour timeframes for a bit of a push to the upside. Guys, I think that's going to wrap up today's video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new, subscribe, and don't forget to join us down in Discord. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.